Hello! Today I'm going to talk about composite volumes in MuseCat. A composite volume consists of items that were created separately but later bound together, typically by an owner or institution. There are other names for such volumes: bound with, Sammelband, binder's volume, collector's volume, but we're using the term composite volume in RISM. Composite volumes can be volumes in which individual printed editions are bound together, as well as volumes in which printed editions and manuscripts are bound together. Keep in mind that this is not the same as a collection in MuseCat, which is for manuscript materials only. I'll show you an example. This is from the collection of Austen Family Music Books, digitized and online from the University of Southampton and the Internet Archive. This is a single volume containing 4 printed items that are completely distinct and different editions. The first item is an edition of 14 sonatinas by Pleyel. The second is an overture, the third a concerto, and so on. Composite volumes can contain as little as 2 items and as many as 100 or more. Some might have a mixture of printed items as well as manuscript items. They are unique volumes, and the content is probably not duplicated anywhere else. There are 2 ways of indicating a composite volume in MuseCat. The first and simplest way is to give the items the same shelf mark. It is also helpful to include a note that says the item is bound with other items. Our users will understand this, and this is what most MuseCat contributors do. The second way to indicate a composite volume in MuseCat is to use the template for composite volumes. While this requires more effort, it is a good way to give a convenient overview of the entire contents of a bound item. If you click Create, you will find the template at the bottom, Record for a Composite Volume. Records for a composite volume should be kept simple. The information given in the composite volume record should be true for all of the components of the volume. Enter your library Ziegler and shelf mark. I'm going to create a fictitious volume, but one that is based on our Austen Family Music Books example. Remember that detailed information related to the music belongs in the respective bibliographic records. In many cases, you will be leaving a lot of fields blank. Essentially, in this record, you are describing the physical volume itself. In our example, it was once owned by Jane Austen. I do not have a title on the source, so I'm going to enter without title. For the standardized title, enter the number of items followed by the word items. In my fictitious volume, I have 2 printed editions and 2 manuscripts bound together, so 4 items. The field description summary is very helpful for the users. Simply tell us what you have. A bound volume containing printed and manuscript music for keyboard instrument. I'm going to leave the field source type blank. Source information is found in the individual records themselves. Entering a date is always useful, but remember that this refers to the volume itself. When was it compiled? Since we know that the previous owner was Jane Austen, and the newest printed edition is from around 1795, we can approximate that it was bound around 1800. If you have dimensions, enter them. Again, this refers to the dimensions of the bound volume. Watermarks would be relevant to elements like flyleaves that belong to the binding structure, not the watermarks on the pages of the music itself. You can describe the physical binding in a binding note. Add a general note to explain anything else you wish. In my example, the name Miss Jane Austen appears on the second flyleaf. Save the record and note the rhythm number. I'm going to copy it. Now we are going to link from each individual item to this composite volume record. Since I have 4 items, I will be doing this 4 times. My first item is a printed edition. I will find the record for the print, edit my holdings. Here you will see the field bound with. Click on the magnifying glass and find your composite volume record. If you don't see it right away, I find it easy to search by rhythm number, so just enter it and click Filter. Once you find the record that you need, click Select, and the link has been made. Save your holdings. Now if I go back to the composite volume record, I'll refresh. You will see that the link has been made to the first item. We repeat this for the following items. I'll do the next one as an example. Find your print, edit your holdings, go to Bound With, click the magnifying glass, find your record and select, and then save. I'll go back to my record for composite volume and refresh. First item, second item. Let's pretend that this volume also contains 2 manuscripts bound with the prints. The link is made a little bit differently. Find your manuscript record, click Edit. Under Parent Record, you will see 2 buttons, Search Collection and Search Composite. We want the second button, Search Composite. Click. find your composite volume, I'm going to search by the RISM number that I know, select, and save. I'll go back to the composite volume to check. Out of our 4 items, we now have the first, the second, and the third. It's quite possible that a manuscript collection is also bound in your volume. We're going to count the collection as one item. Make the link at the collection level. So here's a manuscript collection containing 117 dances. If you click Edit, Parent Record, Search Composite, I'm going to search by my RISM number. Here's my composite volume record, and save and close. I'll return to the composite volume record once again. Refresh, and all 4 items have been linked. You can see that we now have a volume containing 4 items. The first 2 are prints, and the last 2 are manuscripts. In conclusion, creating records for composite volumes is optional in MuseCat, but it aids in describing unique items and enriches the database with information about ownership history, musical taste, and repertoire. Thank you for your attention.